Kansas Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. Braille demonstration led by Ann Bidington, recorded October 4th, 2019.
Hi, my name is Ann Byington. I live in Topeka, Kansas, and I worked for the state of Kansas for 27 and a half years as a rehabilitation teacher. And I'm stealing this presentation from the Chris Cole Center in Texas. They came up and did some training with us and did this presentation, and I liked it, so I'm stealing it. What we're going to do today, briefly, is explain the Braille system to people who don't use it for the most part. Louis Braille was born in 1809 and he died in 1852. He was sent to the Asylum for the Blind in Paris, and the guy who ran that school became very jealous of him and did everything he could to prevent Louis Braille from gaining any notoriety as an inventor of a system for reading and writing for blind people. Originally, there was a 12-dot system that was developed by a guy named Cartier during the Crimean War, and it was used for signaling, or for messages that people could read without lighting a candle, so they didn't have to use light to read their messages. It was a 12-dot code, and it was really complicated, so Louis Braille took that code and simplified it, as we're going to show you, and without doubt, it's still the leading language for blind and visually impaired people around the world. And recently it's undergone a significant change, and Braille is not dead. It's used on technology, and if you don't know how to use a slate and stylus, you can't use a pencil or paper as a sighted person. There are 6 dots. If you have your egg carton oriented correctly, you should have 3 on the left side going down, 1, 2, 3, and 3 on the right side going down. Those are numbers 4, 5, and 6. Everybody get that?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. If you take a golf ball and put it in the top left corner of your carton, that is the letter A. So go ahead and do that. Okay? If you take another ball and put it below that top left corner one, so you have a dot in numbers 1 and 2 on the egg carton, that's the letter B. Everybody with me?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Now, take that bottom ball and move it across from the one at the top. That's the letter C. So that's pretty simple, right? A1, B, 1, 2, C, 1, 4. Okay, leave the C there. Take another ball and put it in number 5, which would be on the right side of your carton in the middle. So you have dot 1, 4, 5. Okay? Everybody with me?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right. Now, to get the letter E, you're going to take the dot out of number 4 and move it away. Put it back in your other section. So you should have a slanted line going from the top left to the middle right.
That one now.
Got that?
No, they don't have letter E yet. He's having trouble.
That's C. You're going to move this one down to E. So it's top,
Okay.
1, 4, with nothing in it, and 5. So there's your E.
That's E.
Everybody got E?
Okay.
You want me to come around and look? Everybody has the E? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Now we're going to do F. So put your dot 5 ball back in dot 4, so you've got 2 dots straight across. And get out another ball and put it in dot 2. So you're going to have 1, 2,
That one and put it up there.
which looks a little
Not that
like the
one,
D,
the other one.
except it's the opposite direction.
That's F. Yeah, take that one in.
Got that?
What she had said was.
1,
put-
2,
take
4.
This one here and put it up there.
Okay, this is the best letter in the Braille alphabet coming up. It's the G. So put another dot on that right side. Put a dot in the 5. Leave the F there and put another dot. You should have a square. You should have 1, 1, 2, 4, 5. Got a square?
Right.
Everybody?
Yes.
Because I can't see what you're doing. All right. Now, I want you to take out the dot 4. That's the one on the right side at the top. And move it. That is the letter H. Okay? Now, I want you to put the dot 4 back. And I want you to take out dots 1 and 5. And it kind of looks like the E, except it's going the other direction. This is what we call a reversal. And these are what kill people when they learn to read Braille, because you got to remember which is which. Okay, so you should have a slanted line going from dot 2 on the left up to dot 4 on the right, right?
Yes.
Everybody got that?
Yep.
What do you suppose the J is? The J is 2, which is already there. Don't take them out. 4, which is already there, and you need to put a ball in number 5. And it looks a little like the H, except it's flipped over the other direction. Now, how many dots in the cell have we used so far?
4.
4. You got 2 more dots, right?
Yep.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. I want you to take all of the balls off of your egg carton. Please.
Got it.
Okay. I want you to put back the letter A, which remember was the top dot on the left side. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Then I want you to use number 3, which is the bottom dot on the left side, and put a ball there. And guess what that gives you?
A.
K. So A with dot 3 is K. If you make a B, put another ball in the center of that list, that gives you L, so you should have 3 balls going down. 1, 2, 3 is L.
On the left-hand side.
Yep. Okay. Take everything out but the top dot. Do you remember what C was? Straight across. Dot 1, dot 4. And then put in dot 3 at the bottom left. What's that letter? K, L,
M.
M. You get the, do you see a pattern here? What do you suppose N is? So far we've done A, B, C with the dot 3. What do you suppose N is? What letter? We've done A with dot 3 is K, B with dot 3 is L, C with dot 3 is M. So what do you suppose N is?
4 and 6.
How about 5?
5?
It's D with dot 3. 1, 3, 4, 5. Okay?
1, 3, 4,
4, 5. So what are we doing? We're going A through J and adding dot 3 to those letters. That gives us K through T. We're not going to go through all of these because I think you get this. Does that make sense? No?
Yep.
Yep? Okay. Okay, clear the balls out of your carton. Now, I want you to place the dot for A in the top left corner. And then I want you to take a guess at what U might be. Remember, you added dot 3 for K, and you went through T, with dot 3 added to A through J. So what do you suppose U is? You mathematical wizards over there.
1, 2, 3.
No. Line is A. You've added 3 to get K, so go ahead and add that.
Yep, got it.
Now add 6, which is the bottom dot on the right side. That's U. U. Okay. So take the bottom 2 out and make the letter B. You remember what it was?
1,
2.
2.
1, 2, yes. So 1, 2, 3, 6. Put those balls back in the 3, 6. So you should have 3 balls on the left and 1 on the right at the bottom. What is that letter?
V, probably?
V, good for you, you're getting it. Okay, now everybody take a breath. Relax. Louis Braille is a Frenchman. He was a Frenchman. The French are very strange. They buried his body in Coupray, which is the town he grew up in, and then somebody decided that wasn't a famous enough place for a person that had this much stature in France, so they cut off his hands and buried them at Notre Dame. Wasn't that weird? Very weird. All right.
They probably burned up.
You can't do the W because it wasn't part of the French alphabet when this system was created, so it breaks all the rules. So we're going to skip it for now. So let's do X. So start out with C. Remember C? Top, top, cross, cross, 1, 4. What's the X? Bottom 2 dots, 3, 6. So it's 1, 3, 4, 6. Right? And there's a blank spot in the middle, right? Everybody loves the letter X because it's very feelable. Okay. For the letter Y, we're going to go to D, which is 1, 4, 5, right? It's the C with the middle dot added, and then we're going to add the bottom 2 dots. So you get a symbol that looks like top, bottom on the left side, top, middle, bottom on the right side.
And that's what letter?
Y.
That one has to go
Y.
over one. The middle one has to go
U,
over
V,
one.
X,
There you
Y,
go.
and Z is E with the bottom 2 dots. So take the dot 4 out and you'll have Z. The bottom dot on the right side. That's Z. Aren't you surprised? You know the Braille alphabet now. Isn't that cool? Isn't that neat? They don't like it. They're not talking to me. They don't like it. All right. You also know the Braille numbers 1 through 0 because A through J, which is the symbols that make up the top of that cell, the first 4 dots in that cell, are also numbers. We put a symbol in front of the number called a number sign that says to the reader, hey, this isn't AJ, this is 10. Okay? And I won't go into the code too much because I don't even know the new one very well yet, but in the old code, each letter of the alphabet stood for a word. For example, A is A, B with a space before it and after it is the word but, C is can, D is do, E is every, F is from, G is go, H is have, I is I, J is just, and K is knowledge, the longest Braille contraction. Knowledge is the letter K. Isn't that cool? L is like, M is more, N is not, O is O, P is people, Q is quite, R is rather, S is so, T is that, U is us, V is very, W is will, X is it, only they don't use that one anymore. Y is you, and Z is as. For a long time, I spelled the word as in print, A-Z, because that's what it was in Braille, Z. Okay. Okay, you're ready to go out and teach this, right? Right? Okay. So, Braille is the equivalent of print. It is imperative that blind people know it. They're not learning it in the schools anymore because the teachers think it's too hard, and they're especially not learning to use slates and styluses, which we will talk about at some other time, and that is denying the person the right to use a pencil and paper. When all the technology fails, what do you use? A pencil and paper, right? And we use a slate and stylus, and they are not teaching kids how to do that anymore, and that's a crime as far as I'm concerned. A lot of my clients used to say, well, it's too hard to learn to read and write Braille. So we had various levels of coding that we taught people. We taught them what we called a survey course, which is just what you learned, the alphabet, the numbers, and a few punctuation marks. Punctuation marks are the letters, but they're written in the bottom 4 dots in the cell instead of the top 4 dots. So D in the bottom, 2, 5, 6 is the period. It should be the comma, which is a single dot like it is in print, but it isn't. So Braille has many codes. It has a music code, it has a mathematic notation code, it has a scientific notation code. What you are learning is what we call literary Braille, which is what they use to print most Braille books in. But what you actually learned was the uncontracted, what used to be called grade 1, which is every letter, every word spelled out in print. And if we had more time, we would do some spelling, and if we had more egg cartons, we would. But it's really not that complicated a system as you. I got to tell you what W is. Nobody asked me.
I was
W
thinking that.
is the middle dot on the left side, dot 2, and all 3 dots on the right side. It's the opposite of the R.
So
Okay.
2,
3,
4,
4,
5, and 6.
2, 4, 5, 6, yes. Very good. All right. Thank you very much. This is the end of this part of the discussion.
Learn more about KABVI at kabvi.com.